As an entrepreneur, you can lose many different things. You can lose money, a great employee, a great sales rep, a big deal, a big client, a big vendor, a great partner. You can lose a great attorney, a great account. You can lose many different things. It's going to be painful. Don't get me wrong. It's going to hurt. It is going to stink. But if you lose this one thing, this is the kiss of death. Let me tell you, it is the kiss of death above all. It's the kiss of death. I remember when I was at a fight with Manny Pacquiao. He was fighting Marquez. I don't know if you guys remember that fight, Manny Pacquiao against Marquez. And Manny Pacquiao, for the longest time, it didn't matter who he fought. You would just look at this guy. He was like a hungry pit bull. He just was ready to go after you. You would just look at the guy's eyes and you're like, this guy's going to kill him. And when I watched him in the Marquez fight, his eyes were too smiley. He was too loose. And he went and fought, and Marquez caught him. He fell. I was sitting right next to his wife. His family invited me. I was right there. When he got knocked out, I'm sitting there saying, oh my gosh, what just happened here? He lost his edge. His edge was gone. If there is one thing you don't ever want to lose, it's your edge. And I'm going to tell you exactly what your edge is. Look, many, many years ago, I was competing in a financial services firm, and I was going against this girl, and I went to Chicago. And these guys started saying things about this one girl and this one other guy. And, oh, you know, this guy, this girl, this guy, all this other stuff. And I said, you know what? I've been around the marketplace for such a long time now as an entrepreneur. I've seen the most impressive guys speak very well, incredible background, ridiculous degrees from the most, you know, flamboyant universities with names and Yales and Ivy and Harvard and all this type of mess. I've seen them with great last names, great families, great market, great pedigree, incredible wife, incredibly good looking, well-spoken, sharp, great. I've seen every single thing. I would sit in the room and I would say, man, this guy's impressive. Man, that guy's impressive. This guy's impressive. Until eventually I realized, having been in business in a long time, I got up on stage in that one event and I got up and I said, look, this girl's sharp. She's got a lot of things going on. This was my opening line. But there is one thing she's missing. There is one thing she's missing that she will know in the next 3 to 5 years. It's one thing she's missing. Gave my talk, I got off. Everybody asked me, what's the one thing? I didn't tell anybody what the one thing was. One thing she's missing. And I knew because as an entrepreneur, as an athlete, you see it so many times in every single thing. The moment this goes is the kiss of death. And that edge is your energy. When your energy goes, everything goes. Everything goes. I did a video a couple weeks ago about the 2 different things that you got to have as an entrepreneur. And I talked about leadership fatigue factor, and I talked about leadership endurance factor. Fatigue, you get tired too early. Endurance, you can last too long. Stamina. So how do you create this? Because when you're an entrepreneur, you want to come out with the ideas, and all of a sudden it's late, it's late, it's late, it's late, it's late. You're not coming up with ideas no more because you're tired. So your energy is low. It's not producing ideas anymore. So if this energy goes, you lose your edge. 100% you lose your edge. If you're in war and you're at the enemy lines and all of a sudden your energy is down, you're tired, even if you're tired to protect your buddy, he gets shot, he's gone. Even if you're tired and you look this way, boom, somebody hits you, you're gone. Even if you're too tired and you all of a sudden you're getting up like this, boom, they hit your helmet, you're gone. It's the same exact thing with business. You got to have these things up. You got to be ready to have that idea. You got to be ready to have that energy. So there are certain signs when you look at it. And the first thing I can tell you is this. I had one of my good friends who flew in, and he and I were sitting down and we were talking. I sat him in the car and we were driving. I said, the last thing I asked him before we left the car, I said this. I said, let me ask you a question. How's your energy? And he says, what do you mean? I said, how's your energy? And immediately he gave me this answer. He says, well, oh, yeah. You know, I just started working out and I just started this. And by the way, I mean, I love this guy. He's family to me. Started working out. I just started doing this. I just started doing that. And if he watches this, he knows who he is. And I said, he knows his energy is gone. He knows his energy is not the best it's been. He knows he's let his energy go away and he feels it. The moment this energy thing you let loose, which has a lot to do with what? Diet, food, exercise, edge, all these, the moment you let that go, listen, let me tell you, competitors there is no feelings in the world of competition. You better believe Oklahoma State that just beat San Antonio Spurs, they do not feel sorry for Tim Duncan. I guarantee you that they're not feeling sorry for Tim Duncan. And I guarantee you, when Tim Duncan beat out a bunch of other teams who were older then and he was younger, I guarantee he doesn't feel sorry. In a world of competition, your energy goes, everything goes with your edge. Everything goes. And I know one thing that has always been honest to me. You know when you play the game of poker? One of the best things about playing a game of poker, playing a game of blackjack, is purely math. If you know math, you're going to do good in blackjack. If you're not good in math, you're not going to do good in blackjack. For instance, sitting on a soft 17 and the person's shown even if you got a 16 and the person's shown a hard 70, if the house is showing 17 and, you know, he's got a 7 shown at the top and you got a 6, do you hit? Do you stay? If he's got a face and you got a 6, do you stay? What do you do with that? Well, I'm going to stay. You got to hit it because it's math. So blackjack is a lot of a mathematical type of a game, but the reason why poker is so famous, so popular, is because you're going against another person, and it's the eyes. The eyes tells you everything about energy. The eyes tells you every single thing you can think about of energy. So let me tell you what energy looks like. When energy is high, ideation is high. When energy is high, sales is high. When energy is high, your spirit of competition is high. Think about it when you talk to somebody who's 80 years old, a grandfather. Ask them questions. They'll generally say something like this. Oh, yeah, you know, it's great. It's not, you know, it's fine. They're just, why are they like that? Is it because now they're very, very wise and they're no longer competitive? No. I knew an 88, 89-year-old CEO and founder of CEO of MGM who was still doing deals at 90 years old. But he exercised, he did all this other stuff because he had his edge. He had his energy. John Wooden was 99 years old. He was still coaching people because he had his energy. If you let your energy go and we go high, we lose your spirit of competition. We completely lose it if your energy is gone. You don't want to compete anymore. You're tired. You know, when people don't want to have a business or be an entrepreneur, oh, you guys are just too much competitive. No. You've lost your energy, sir. You've lost your energy, ma'am. This is what it's got. You've lost your edge. Because there was a time when you were 8 years old, you better believe it, you were competitive. What happened? I got 2 boys. They're competing all the time. I didn't teach them competition. They're competing all the time. You know why? Their energy's high. They're competing. I'm going to do it faster. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. When our energy goes low, we become wise. We're no longer competitive. Nonsense. You lost your edge is what you've lost. You need your edge back. You got to get your groove back. Remember that one song, Stella lost? You got to get your groove back. That's what you got to get. You can do it. You lose your urgency. Oh, we'll do it tomorrow. Energy's gone. Oh, we'll do it next week. Energy's gone. Oh, later. Energy's gone. Oh, energy's gone. There's no more urgency. Energy's gone. And then drive. You lose your drive. There's no longer that drive to get something. There's no ambition. That's gone. You don't have that anymore. You don't feel it anymore. You'll see a lot of times when somebody loses their edge, they lose their energy, standards drop, expectation drops, level of performance drops. You don't have the same standards of people because your own personal standards have dropped. The moment your own personal standards drop, you can't hold other people at high standards. The moment your own personal standards, personal expectation drops, you can't hold other people at that level of expectation. You just cannot. The moment yours is high, you can raise everybody else's. You know, just recently, Toronto Raptors were playing Miami Heat. I wanted Miami Heat to win. Why? Because I wanted Wade to face, LeBron. It would have been a good matchup. But there was one game where Lowry played and he was doing terrible. He went 3 for 20 or some just terrible game he had back to back. Every channel you watch, he's not doing this, he's not doing that, he lost this, he's not. That night, the game is over. It's dark at the arena. Everyone's out of the stadium to cleaning crew. Everybody's gone. The lights are left on a little bit. There's one guy shooting shots for a couple hours. His name is Kyle Lowry. He's shooting shots. He's practicing his three-point shot because it's not going in. He's practicing shots, all this stuff. You know what happens game 7? They win the game. He scored 35, 36 points. They won the game. See, that is, I'm going to get better tonight. I'm going to raise my expectation tonight. And they win the series because of him, not because of DeMar DeRozan. They won the series because of him. That's the edge. The energy, when you have it, you lift everybody up when your energy is high. If your energy is low, you cannot elevate anybody around you. That's your edge that you got. Now, a couple things to be keeping in mind. When people who lose When people who lose, I already talked about that, Okay, got it. So, just think about it. When you go to Las Vegas, you see these, what do you call those things, Mario? You call them what? Wind turbines, right? You see them going out there, and what they're doing is they're turning potential energy into energy. If they're not turning, you see this in Vegas and Palm Springs, you can sit them there and do nothing with it. There's no energy being created. But because these things are turning, they're producing energy, electricity for the entire city to use. That's energy being created. You and your people around you have potential energy. A leader brings out the energy, but the leader leads with the energy. The leader has the edge. Man, the edge, and they feel it. Everybody around you feels your edge. Everybody around you feels your edge. You don't think they do. Everybody around you feels your edge. Every single person. Every single person sees your edge. So this is why when I mentor and coach somebody, I remember one time me and a couple of our friends, Rodolfo and Ceci Vargas, we were in San Diego. We were having dinner at this real nice restaurant. I think it was also Del Frisco's. I don't know what it was. No, it was El Fornallo. We're right by the water, and we're having dinner, and then they follow us, and we're talking the entire time, and I'm mentoring these guys, young couple out of Houston, quality people, and they tell us, Pat, we just want to be the biggest, we just want to be this, we just want to be that. I said, listen, you've never made $250,000 or $500,000. How do you know that? You don't know it yet. We're going to learn if this is all about money for you or not. No, it's not. We'll find out. We will find out, because I've seen a lot of guys that talk a big game now. They're continuously still growing and developing themselves, like they're better diet, look better, reading like nonstop. Their faith is incredible. I mean, they have their edge. Their energy definitely is up here. But I look at a lot of people, the moment they hit a certain income milestone, they slow down, because it was never about them winning and being the best ever. It wasn't about purpose. It was just about money. You see them slowing down. You see them getting casual. You see them not improving anymore. You see them losing their edge. You see them losing their energy, because it was never about money. That's why I know most people you compete with, most people's goals are simply tied to dollars. So if you want to ask yourself a question about the edge, here's a couple questions to ask yourself. Do you remember when you first chose to become an entrepreneur? Do you remember that day? Do you remember when you first got excited about what it is to be an entrepreneur? Do you remember? Because I remember that day. I remember when I came home and I said, Dad, I'm going to do something here with this business that I think we're going to be free. I said, Dad, I'm going to make 10 grand in a month. My dad's like, no one's going to make 10 grand. You're not going to make 10 grand a month. No one in our family makes 10 grand. I said, Dad, I want to make 10 grand a month. And I remember how excited I was as a new person, as a new entrepreneur. Man, you couldn't stop me from working. I was so excited. I remember the first time my dad saw me walking up on stage and winning, and in tears. First time I ever saw my dad cry was December 15, 2003. I remember the date. Got up on stage, I got this, and we were at Queen Mary Ballroom. I'm looking at the guy, he's in tears. Tears coming down his eyes, because I didn't want to have my dad work at a 99-cent store anymore. I didn't want him to work there anymore. And today, my dad this morning had he had an angioplastic, where they went in, they found out one of his arteries was shut 90%. Luckily, we did it today because he was having a hard time. And they put a stent in there and they opened it up, and he's now doing much better. I spoke to him right after the surgery. But I remember that day getting emotional. Let me tell you, I can say the story today, tomorrow, 10 years from now, I still get the chills. I remember when my dad and I went to Hawaii the first time to get out Kauai. We had nothing. Iran, war, home, nothing. 1.8 GPA, 99-cent store. I joined the military. There is nothing crazy special about the David family to nobody. Until this guy realized what it is to be an entrepreneur, and everything I wanted in my life was linked to my energy. Every single thing in my life I wanted was linked to my edge. Every single thing was linked to this dude staying edgy and having the energy. The moment this dude was going to lose that, kiss of goodbye. It's the kiss of death. Now I see that from my dad. Now I see it on my son's face. My oldest son is 4 years old. He's got those eyes. Man, the guy's like on fire all the time at 4 years old. This kid was a leader from the day he was born. He's just like fierce. He knows what he wants. I look at my 2-year-old, no matter what, if I go to the bathroom, come out, he smiles at me again. I mean, I look at him like I melt. We're expecting a kid this week. Any day. Could be tonight, tomorrow. Baby's due on Friday. Man, I get fired up with that. So for you, first test is if you can't tell the story to yourself, of when you first became an entrepreneur and get excited like you were day one, you've lost your edge. If you can't look at your customers or your employees, your staff, your new agents, your new sales force, your new executives, and you can't look at them and paint a picture of where you're going with the same exact energy, enthusiasm, and edge like you once used to have, you're losing your edge. If you can't look at your customers and tell them how amazing it's going to be, you're losing your edge. If you can't sit there and tell your people you love them, you care for them, and inject belief in them, again, your teammates, your staff, they're going to go through difficult times at times. You're losing your edge. You are losing your edge if you can't do those types of things. If you can't sit there and create strong relationships with people to go into business with you because you've lost, you're losing your edge. So how do you get it again? Re-engage. Get emotional. Get upset. Have a private conversation with yourself. Ask yourself, what the hell is going on with you? And start leading again. Start exercising again. Drop a few things from your habits. Drop a few things from your diet. Stop that sugar craving you have in the middle of the night. Stop eating that food. It makes you tired. It makes you lethargic. Move your body a little bit. Shake this thing. Wake up every single morning, do 100, 200 push-ups. Do 200 sit-ups in the morning. Walk around the house. Take the stairs. Stop taking the elevator in the mall. Take the stairs. Stop taking the elevator anywhere if there's a stair option. Just start moving your body. Start increasing this thing. You know, sometimes when you eat too much heavy food, this brain is like fried. Don't eat it. Change it. And you'll get your edge again. Get excited about why you're doing this business again. Get excited about what you're doing your venture for. Get fired up about it. But if there's one thing I could tell you is your kiss of death is losing your energy. You lose your energy, you lose your edge, you lose your edge. You're no longer needed in the boardroom. You're no longer needed in the negotiation room. You're no longer needed to get up on the stage and fire people up. And by the way, it has nothing to do with age. Don't let anybody fool you with that. Oh, you're getting old. This is natural. This is what happens. Bullshit. Who said that? I want to meet the person who said that because it's BS. Energy is not linked to that. I know 80-year-olds who have more energy than 22-year-olds. You want to talk about how healthy they are. Now, of course, there's a little bit of body that shuts down, but how much of it? You want to use that as an excuse to sit home and watch TV? Of course your energy is going to go low if you just sit there and not move your body. Move. Do something with it. The world's waiting for you to bring out your full capacity and reach that. That's what's on my mind today. Okay, so the kiss of death, get that energy back up. And I can talk about this stuff all day long because when I have one-on-one conversations and I look at somebody I'm mentoring and coaching in their eyes, I say, ooh, this guy's lost it. Oh, he's lost it. Look at that. Eyes are droopy. I see it. Eyes are a little bit all over the place. Can't focus on me anymore. What happened to those eyes? I remember the eyes 5 years ago. You got $600,000 in the bank now. That's what you got. Oh, you got $1.1 million in the bank now. Oh, you driving a nice car now. You're not driving. You got that stuff. Oh, that's what it is now. Okay, got it. Hey, remember the twinkle. Get that thing going again. The twinkle again, that edge again. Anyways, look, formula is very easy. Write your goals and dreams down again. Don't just link it to money. Link it to something that has to do with you living until the day you die. You can do that with this totally fine. Link it to that. And then you'll notice a big difference in the way you're performing. And you can change that right now, by the way. Not next week, 2 months from now. I'll wait till I start exercising. No. Right now. Finish the video right now and go do some push-ups right now. You're done watching this right now, go run. If this video doesn't make you want to go outside and run a little bit or walk around a little bit or do push-ups, sit-ups, it's a waste of a video. Turn off the TV, move around. If you're at work right now, turn off this whole thing, go downstairs, walk around a couple blocks around your office, come back and get to work. Look at the way you're going to talk on the phone. You'll see the difference. Even Mario's leg is going nuts right now watching this camera. Okay. All right, hey, I got a favor to ask you. Our goal is to get to 100,000 subscribers with this channel by August 31st. I even got a pillow, YouTube. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We need 100,000 subs. I'm about to launch a very, very big project. We just bought a domain for lots of money. I'll be introducing to you guys what that domain is and what we'll be launching in the next 4 months now, right? What's in third week of August, right? We'll be launching something massive around the world. It's a very, very big project that we'll be launching, but we need 100,000 entrepreneurs to be following this by August 31st. So please share the videos, invite others who are entrepreneurs like you as well to subscribe to this content, because you'll know why in the next 3.5, 4 months, why I'm asking you to do that. I mean, I love the fans. I love the people that follow this channel. I love the questions you guys are asking. I'm trying to get to all of you as much as I can. Some of you on Facebook, some of you private message regularly. I get emails, but especially to the YouTube channel, we're very committed to this. So thanks for all that you guys do with this channel as well. I love the feedback and the commentary we get from the loyal fans we have of Valuetainment. With that being said, if you're watching this video on another website, you can always go to patrickbetdavid.com. Boom, there you go. And see all the content there as well. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.